Shaltosh kelsila troulul tuin yana Shaltosh untensila ibahali ulul.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Tales of Escuria. As you can see, tonight we are currently down one vixen, but we will have her back at some point this evening, we hope. In the meantime, as always, just to say that we are in association with and presented by Horsham Gamers. We are a local group who cover the whole range of gaming from tabletop RPGs and roleplay stuff like this, through wargaming, through esports, online, FPS, anything you can think of. If you're interested in it, then we're interested in it too. So please do come along and see what we're about. We have our Horsham Gaming Festival, which is at the end of this month, the 28th and 29th. We're down in the Drill Hall in Horsham, so just pop along. It's only a couple quid on the door, and you get an entire weekend of fun gaming stuff and meeting the rest of the community, and we'd really love to see some of you there.
I'm really sorry, it's the 29th of the 30th.
That's the one. I can't do dates. I'm bad at math.
Just wanted, sorry for jumping in, Cal.
No, please correct me if I'm giving people the wrong information. So, 29th and the 30th, that's the one. Let's just pretend I said that. No one will ever know. It's not like this was recorded anywhere. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get on with tonight's episode of Tales of Escuria. So, where we left off, Alessia, you are still possessed by a ghost, and the rest of you had begun to try and bargain with the ghost to try and work together in order to take down your common enemy in Glaurik, the priest who is currently pretending to be a priest in order to get some control here in the town. And you're currently in the middle of an argument with your new friend, the Minotaur Hagen, who's trying to help you, who is insisting that you should kill the ghost. So, let's get back into the swing of things. It had just gotten to Vixen's turn. So, Laura, since you are controlling Vixen for now, what is Vixen going to do?
We have a plan, but
yeah, I was just rereading it.
For that, Amanora would have to talk to the ghost, so we probably wait until it's her turn.
Okay. Would you like Vixen to hold an action until it's your turn, or just?
Yeah, she can she can just hold her action until that. It's more like a conversation, so it will be a little bit complicated with
the turn order. Okay.
Yeah, initiative.
Okay. In which case, if the rest of you are also keen on turning it into a conversation, in that case, the rest of you, we don't need to worry about the initiative order, but we still need to keep track of the Ghost and Hagen because they are still keen on fighting.
Okay.
So in that case, next up in the order is the Ghost. So, Alessia, can you make a charisma saving throw for me, please?
I will give her. Is the 10 minus the 2, or is the 10 the 10?
It's a 10.
Okay, would that be enough? You don't have to tell me that, right?
I'm not going to tell you that. Why would I tell you that?
Yeah, that's right. I think she never rolled above a 10 or close to a 10. I think she always dimpled. Did you roll a 10 or higher? You don't remember. I will give her the 10.
Okay. So
Maybe
you're going to
it's a
use one of your
DC 10.
portent.
Yes.
Okay. So for a brief moment, Alessia, you are trying to struggle to kind of fight back against this encroaching force that's within your head, and for a moment you can feel kind of some assistance at your back. You can feel a small amount of arcane energy that seems to be coming from Emanora, but it's still not quite enough. The ghost stays in control. Okay, so recognizing that he is currently the only threat, can you make a attack roll against Hagen, please, Alessia? It is at disadvantage because Hagen is still currently invisible.
Okay. Yes. Please don't hit him.
Does not hit.
Good.
So make your second attack, please.
Oh dear.
And that does
Oh,
not
it
hit
does
either
not.
because still
No,
at
it's just a
disadvantage.
bump, but, yeah.
So you feel the ghost trying to lash out as angrily as it can in the direction of where it thinks Hagen is, but the combination of the darkness that is surrounding you and the fact that Hagen is invisible means that you're just striking soil and stones instead of actually hitting him. So that is the end of the ghost turn, which brings it to Hagen's turn. And Hagen is going to, let me see, he's going to move around to here. He is flanking, so he gets advantage on the attack.
I have a question about my fog cloud because basically everything should have at least disadvantage in the fog cloud if it's still up. I'm not sure how many rounds did you
It is still up.
write that
So
down?
he gets advantage because it's flanking, but disadvantage again because it's fog cloud, so it cancels out to a normal attack. So give me a second to get his sheet up. Okay. Does 18 hit your armor class, Celestia?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I have 16.
Okay, and let me see.
Okay.
You take 7 slashing damage from the attack. And let me get the ghost up a second. The ghost, let me do a quick saving throw for this one. Okay. The ghost remains in control of you. Hagen, though, does become visible again as soon as he makes this attack against you. You see suddenly from the shadows just to kind of the left of where you had been striking the ground, the hulking form of this Minotaur just like appearing with great axe in hand and bearing down on you. Although it's a very odd sensation, even though you get hit and you're aware that you get hit, currently you don't feel any pain from it. It's just kind of numb. Okay.
Oh, he's able to hit only the ghost? Interesting.
Alessia is still
But
taking
she still
damage,
took
she
the
just
damage.
can't feel it because she's not kind of in control of the body.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Both of their turns over. You guys can go in whatever order you like. You can talk and discuss whatever you like. So go ahead. Activate your master plan.
All right.
Are you prepared, Cal?
Master plan.
I'm definitely not. Continue.
We will see. We will see how the roles go in this case.
Yeah.
All right. So Emanora sees the situation, and as a good politician, she realizes that there are parties they want the same, and everybody basically wants the same, just in different ways. So she will like talk a little bit louder and more formal than she usually would. Like if she would talk to like a bigger group of people as a politician, and calls them off to stop, hold on for a second. So she basically goes, hold in everybody for a second. I see we can talk about this. I don't think fighting is the best solution in this case.
Okay.
Here.
Make a persuasion check. Oh!
Yes.
So the rest of you, it's kind of uncanny. Like Ellen, you've heard this once before. The others you have not. Eminora has that thing that some kind of natural-born leaders do, where suddenly all they need to do is raise their voice slightly, and immediately you're just like, oh yes, of course. Like she's got teacher voice, is what she has. And you're just like, yep, So you notice that immediately Hagen's he's still kind of holding the great axe, but you see him kind of relax his shoulders a little bit and stare up at the hulking form of Alessia, and you see that Alessia's body at least kind of slightly lowers the hand axes, still weapons drawn but waiting, and both kind of turn. Would you like to keep the fog cloud up for this, or would you rather drop it?
No, I drop it in this case.
Okay, yeah.
Show my goodwill. So we all have the same goal, seemingly, at least parts of the group. Hagen, you wish the ghost to turn back to its original plane, where it should be.
That
The
is correct.
ghost, I don't know your name. You want to kill the guy who killed you, and Vixen seemingly wants to kill the same guy. When you kill that guy, you disappear where you should be. So everybody becomes what they want, right?
Hagen is kind of looking uneasy about this, but you see him look up at this ghost and just says, "For now I am willing to spare you. But know this. If you cross us, I will end you." And kind of like reaches out with one of his hands to kind of like offer a handshake up to the form of Alessia. The ghost is kind of, it's feeling a little bit reticent. Give me a second to see. I will allow it to do a charisma check, but at disadvantage, to see if it's going to believe you or not. Good thing it had the disadvantage. So yeah.
Oh, shit.
After a brief moment, the ghost stows the hand axes back into the belt, reaches out and kind of shakes hands with Hagen, and then says, specifically to you, Alessia, inside your head, just says, I'm really sorry that I had to do this. I'm going to go now. And then Alessia suddenly, like, it feels like the world around you is like this horrifically bright light, just kind of like as like you come back into like full control of your senses, and you can feel the pain from your wounds all of a sudden. You kind of like, it feels kind of weirdly like being born, where you're like, suddenly all the sensations at once, like but it takes you a couple seconds to regain, and the ghost appears just a second. Appears next to Hagen and kind of floats into the middle of you. You can see it's returned to its blue form rather than the red kind of screaming form that it had been in previously. It looks more human than it has done for the majority of this battle.
Okay, so Eminora goes on. To drop the dome, we need a little bit more security than just your word. You have to understand us. But I have an offer that I can make a magical contract with you and Vixen, since you two want to do something together. So both of you agree to stay with the rules that keeps everybody around you protected, and no one gets harmed, only the person of interest.
The ghost looks towards Vixen, and then back towards you, and just gives a kind of solemn nod in your direction.
Good.
And I'm assuming Vixen agrees.
Vixen agrees.
Vixen is absolutely.
Very good. Okay. So you have to draw up your magical contract. Which spell are you putting into your contract?
The sleep spell. I made a contract for you, to be fair.
Okay, cool.
No way.
Good.
Sure. Why shouldn't I?
Oh my god.
Right, let me have a read of this. Oh my.
The Bible.
That's some fancy stuff there.
We need to get this on the stream somehow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
that's so cool.
So basically what happens, I actually have a ritual for this because it should be fancy, right? So at the point where she wants to sign a contract, she gets both parties of the contract to sit in front of her on the floor, and her raven comes down and helps her getting out the paper scroll and everything that she needs, the candle, the ring that she needs to make the sign on the wax. And she uses a feather of that raven to write the contract.
Very
So
nice.
he's involved in the whole situation. He brings, like on the picture, on the group picture that we have, he holds the feather for her. And in this case, you can see her write the contract. She has a really beautiful handwriting. Like she did this more often, obviously, really clean, but still special. And she takes out some rose petals in this case because it's a spell sleep, and she starts to like wiggle them around and they turn into blue light, and she touches the signet ring, and when she pushes it into the wax, it's like a flash of blue light going through the whole paper, and that signs the whole situation in the end.
Very nice. Okay. So the rest of you watch as the two fill in each respective side of the contract, and at the end of the signing process, you can see that for a brief second, when they have each finished signing, a few kind of arcane sigils, almost kind of in a circle around their wrist, kind of rotate for a few seconds and then fade. They have both been bound to this contract. And the ghost essentially kind of goes to shake hands with Vixen, and then the moment that the ghost makes contact with Vixen, the two meld, and the ghost is now in control of Vixen.
So now they're one person.
Easier than expected.
Much easier than expected.
Yeah, the net 20 earlier was helpful,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
guess.
hell yeah. Like,
let me read the full contract.
without the nat 20, I wouldn't have given them disadvantage on the charisma saving throw. So most likely it would have failed. But the dice are with you today, and that was a good plan. So I'm very happy this worked for you.
Yeah. Finally used the contract.
Yes.
Yes, contract time. All right. Yeah, so basically the plan now is that Vixen, Kada, and basically Vixen and Kada will go to assassinate our lovely priest.
Lovely.
Okay.
We're also going to rope in Ellen and that to help with distractions and make sure no one comes into the church.
Okay, cool. Give me a quick second. There it is. Okay. So for a quick second, I'm going to move you guys back onto the kind of overworld map.
Okay.
So
Whereabouts are we?
One question.
And what can I
yes.
do?
Reading the contract, do we know if a ghost can fall under the sleep spell?
I have just checked. They can.
Okay.
They are immune to like a bunch of conditions, but asleep is not one of them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, if they had been and they'd signed this contract, then it wouldn't have the contract wouldn't have worked, and you would have known this immediately. You cannot sign a contract if you have no way of actually completing it.
I think me and Alessia, we can just walk. Emanora and Alessia can walk Hagen home, so he gets home safe and sound.
Okay.
That would be good
Until
for my
these
room
guys.
too.
We're not really stealthy, and I'm not really interested in killing a priest, so we can just walk Hagen home and come back and see if they're still alive. If not, we can help.
We could check on the girl. Is the girl the girl which became an old lady? Okay, or not yet?
I aged 30 years. That just happens when the ghost vanishes into his plane, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I aged too. I forgot about that.
It's not so much of a problem for you, Kada, because tieflings.
No, I know, but
So
yeah.
you're just like,
Eh.
it's fine, I guess. Just give me a second while I sort this map out.
So whereabouts did that happen?
That was on the Songbird Fields, which is up in the north.
Oh yeah.
Of the town. Sorry. Cool. So you guys are able to pretty easily kind of navigate your way, either bringing Hagen back to the bringing Hagen back to the Salt Lord's Rest is basically where you need to be going anyway for your plan to go and try and find Glaurik to assassinate him. So basically, you're all heading in the same direction regardless. As you're kind of leaving the area of the Songbird Fields, very quickly, Cryptex Binder Hagen kind of goes up to the skull, and just before releasing the dome, he says, "Just give me one moment." And you see him very kind of like quickly begin to mutter something. His eyes glow slightly green for a second, and then the eyes in the skull also glow green. And then it almost kind of sounds like a simultaneous sound of something burning, and also the sound of kind of the flapping of bird wings. And then a couple seconds later, the dome kind of recedes back into the skull, and he kind of picks up the skull, kind of like place it against his own for a second, and then puts it back in his side satchel and just says, "Okay, the wisps are gone, so it's safe for us to go now."
Can I? Have I got enough knowledge to check whether that's like the only thing he cast?
Make an Arcana check. Yeah. It's pretty simple. The kind of stuff that you've seen before. That's all he did. He banished the wisps.
Okay.
So yeah. The dome has now lifted, and you can see a few people kind of gingerly approaching to get back towards their homes. Amongst them, you can see the little girl who is still in her aged form, but just kind of wanders up to Vixen specifically, and is just like, "Are they gone yet?" And there's this brief moment where Vixen now in being controlled by a ghost, looks kind of confused, and then just like kneels down and says, yes, it's done now, it's fine. And then kind of gets up and walks away and looks a combination of a little awkward and a little bit sad. And walks away.
So.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because the ghost is the one who did this, whether they wanted to or not.
Is there a way to unage? I can't remember if we talked about this or not.
Yeah, if she vanishes, we
Oh,
get
okay.
back our time. That's really precious to me.
Yeah. Essentially, she's stolen some of your time so she can stay in the world for a bit longer.
Oh, okay.
So once she leaves the world, you get the time back. As you guys are wandering back through the Three Bridges district, you hear kind of almost like somewhere slightly behind you as you're walking. You kind of like excuse me, hello, hi, Vixen, Vixen.
I guess she turns around.
Okay. And you guys see Roku kind of running up to meet you with a few books under one arm and a small kind of bottle of liquid in the other hand.
Oh yeah, right.
And she kind of runs up to meet the rest of you and is just like, I had to work all night, but I've got it. I've got the thing you asked for the thing. So here you go. Don't lose it, I guess.
Yeah, she's probably pretty grateful and thanks her a lot and takes it and tells her that we are a little bit in a rush. But she will visit her tomorrow.
Before
Okay.
Roku runs off, I just say to her, "Is that strong enough to be used on weapons, or do you have to drink it?"
I think weapons might work, though I'd really recommend trying to get them to drink it. It might be a bit more diluted if you just use it on weapons.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm gonna go home and pray a lot. Good luck, I guess.
I'll give her like a thumbs up before I turn around and keep walking.
She gives you like the walking backwards away, like awkward smile finger guns, like.
Beep, 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 beep.
And heads back in the other direction. So this is something which can each of you make a. Actually, never mind. What are your guys' passive perception scores?
13, I guess.
Where is that? Oh, is that the
15.
13.
13.
Where do I find that?
It's just
Underneath
under your
Underneath all the
abilities,
skills.
yes. Yeah, underneath the skills as well.
Underneath skills.
Yeah.
Mhm. There's a big number. and
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
sorry.
passive.
-10.
-10.
What?
Mine is 10.
That's better. I'm gonna say that there are blind people who have better than -10.
I just wanted to say -10 would be
Ooh. So what was the highest amongst you? Sorry,
15, I think.
15.
Was it my 15? Yeah.
Yeah, I
think
think so.
What's that based on? Like wisdom or something?
Wisdom, yeah. So after when you guys continue to walk away, you can hear just very faintly in the background as she walks away, you can hear her kind of muttering a prayer to herself. And you can definitely tell that she is not praying to Lolth. But you can just about kind of make out the prayer that she is saying. And it's basically a prayer of like, please look after them, make sure they don't do something stupid and die.
Okay.
So cute.
For the praying. I hope it helps.
Okay. So you guys continue off until you reach the point where the road begins to fork, and either those who are heading to the Church of Lolth are heading there, and those who are heading to Salt Lord's Rest are heading there. So who is going where?
So Vixen, Ellen, and I are going to the church. I think.
Okay.
Yep.
Would that be of any help? No.
I mean, the trouble is we want to stay stealthy and.
Yeah.
I think Kada could probably do it even alone, but Vixen probably wants to go with just to see it. I think Kada
Yeah.
can sneak in and get the poison into his drink, food, whatever, in his private chamber, whatever you call it.
Chamber.
And Vixen can distract him if needed.
Yeah.
Okay. So I
And the
will
bard can
do.
stay outside. And we will come back. We bring back Hagen, so he's safe. And we come back, and then we will see how it's going, I guess.
Okay.
But we're not really a help in this case, so we don't really have to sneak around there, especially if we're not sneaky.
Actually, not
No
me.
offense, guys. We are not the sneakiest of people.
Actually, not me. Okay, then I will just walk with Emanora to the Lord, to the palace. Is it the palace?
Yeah, the Salt Lord's
Palace
Rest.
Lord's Rest.
Yep. Okay. So we'll stick with you guys who are heading to the Salt Lord's Rest for now. You continue your walk along this this patch of road, and when you make your way to the gates of the Salt Lord's Rest, something is definitely wrong. Every single time that you have been past before, there have been guards stationed outside, and there are no guards there.
So it's
That's
me,
weird.
Is it that
Alessia,
weird?
and Hagen. Ellen, did you come with us, or did you go with Kada and Vixen?
No,
They've come with us. He's come with
That
us.
was the plan.
do you need
Yeah.
me?
Well, yeah, for distractions and to stop people coming in and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
As
Yeah,
I said, that kind of went on there.
So it's just Alessia and me and Hagen. Does Hagen? So do I feel? Does Emanora feel that something is off?
Yeah, I'd say with your passive perception being that high, like, yeah, this is bad. Something is wrong.
I look at Hagen and ask him, Hagen, what's going on here?
I don't know. There's always been guards. They're on outside all the time, like all the time.
Where are you guys at the church?
No, they're at the
At
Salt Lord's
The
Rest.
palace.
Palace.
The what? Sorry.
Palace.
Oh, the palace.
Salt,
Sorry.
yeah, the palace. Yeah.
Um.
Then hurry up and let's have a look, I
Yeah.
guess. Alessia, get your weapons out, I
Okay.
think.
I had my weapons out ready.
Okay. So as you guys begin to ascend the stairs towards kind of the entrance of the palace, you begin to see what's happened. As you get to kind of like there's a point when you go up like one flight of stairs, and then there's a slight kind of flat bit, and then there's another one. When you get onto this flat bit, you can see that there is blood running down the steps of these stairs. You can see as you continue a little bit further up, you can see the corpses of the two guards outside. They appear to have a couple of arrows in them, but they mostly seem to have been. One of them has been, it seems, ritually beheaded.
Yeah, I rush in. We both rush in probably to look for the Salt Lord.
Okay. Once you get inside the palace, the inside is just a scene of complete devastation. The kind of finery that you had seen when you had come in the first time, Emanora, the fine tapestries and the kind of ornate furniture. Most of the furniture has been kind of smashed into small wooden chunks or thrown about the room. And what little hasn't been thrown about the room seems to have been kind of piled up in the center, and you can see parts of it are still smoldering. Yeah, you can see what seems to be a pyre where various different bodies have been burned in the center of this room. And currently, you guys can't see from your position the throne. What would you guys like to do?
I will run to see if I can find the Salt Lord or the elf that I met earlier.
Yeah, someone. Just try to look for people that is alive.
Okay.
And I know the police already a bit, so I should be
Maybe
fine.
someone was able to hide and can explain what happened.
Okay. Both of you make an investigation check. Okay. Okay.
Took forever.
And just the gun giant screaming around. Someone there?
Laura's got
Yeah.
all the good rolls today.
Um,
I have +6 on that, so that also
Yeah.
helps.
Alessia, your job is made more difficult by the fact that this building is definitely not meant for people who are as tall as you are. So you're kind of like, you know when you go into like an old medieval building and it feels like you're about to hit your head like all the time. Yeah, that's you right now. But yeah, and the smoke is kind of like rising up and is getting in your eyes. It's making it very difficult for you to see anything really right now. But Emanora, as you begin to look around the room a little bit more, you can see that there are a couple people who are very, very badly injured, but kind of still alive, who have been kind of strewn about the room. You see one who seems to be underneath a large pile of these ornate chairs, who is still breathing but seems to be unconscious. And when you make your way around the side of the room and you can get past the pyre and the smoke, you can see that on the throne is the head of the Salt Lord.
I shot to Alessia to help the guy that is still breathing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what should I do? Should I take him outside? Are you able to help him in any way? Like magically or something?
I can't by Hagen for sure.
I can try. You can see him kind of like he's in a kind of state of shock, like hand kind of like clamped on his head, and
Hagen, not the right timing. You have to act fast.
Is there any secure room where we can just bring the ones that are still alive and try to help them?
I don't know if they've come in this far. Then I don't think anywhere here is safe. I think we just need
So,
to get out.
should we leave?
Yes.
Okay, so I take one, or is someone else I can help?
Can I see someone else?
There is someone else. As you are having this conversation, Emanora, you hear kind of some you hear the sound of something kind of moving, something being disturbed in one of the other corners of the room. And as you kind of look over in that direction, you glimpse behind a pile of these chairs. You can see the elven man that you had seen before. You can see that now the robes that he was wearing, kind of like the pale grey robes, have a few blood stains on them, and you can see him kind of like cowering behind this this pile of chairs that he seems to have piled up in front of himself to try and hide.
Okay.
Yeah, I go over and tell him, "You're safe now. You can come out."
They take on?
I don't know yet. I will investigate the place, but you have to leave with Hagen and Alessia, my friend. She will keep you safe, trust me.
Okay. Okay. He kind of very slowly kind of climbs his way out of this pile of chairs and walks over towards you, Alessia. As he does so, he kind of glances back and looks at the throne and sees the Salt Lord's head there, and just kind of like, ugh, no, 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 no. And then continues on towards you and follows you out if you leave.
Okay, so I take the body and I actually can carry both of them. So I carry both of them outside.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, I would stay. I will tell Hagen and Alessia to go. I guess the best place is the pub. We know that place, we know the guy, we know it's safe.
Actually, maybe I forget her
Oh,
name. The deer house. I mean, the deer
yeah,
house.
or
She
go
will
to
have
her.
medicines and things to help.
True. Yeah, go to her, and I will come after you
Okay,
and turn
I know
invisible.
the way to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I use my invisibility in this case to search the place more carefully, the whole palace, to find anything that helps the investigation, or to see if I can find anything that's weird,
Okay.
or if I can find actually someone still there.
So yeah, as the rest of them leave, you can see that Hagen begins to kind of he takes out the skull again, holds it in one hand, and with the other hand, you can see some of the kind of green energy that he had been using when he'd been casting his spells before. He's kind of like almost like he's kind of scanning over the wounded guy, kind of like trying to like figure out where the wounds are as you continue to move, and the rest of them leave. So make another investigation check, Eminora. You are killing it today.
Investigation is basically my best skill next to history.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So almost kind of like the occasional times when you have the visions that are granted to you by your divination. You almost kind of like CSI style start like reconstructing what happened as you go through the palace. Like you can see as you're kind of moving through places where battles had taken place. You can see various different palace guards who had been killed. Again, you can see the combination of arrows and also the ones further in seem to be more hit with what you can ascertain is probably a morning star. Seem to have been killed by that, and also being shot by arrows. You can see that there are pieces in kind of like the ornate paper paneling that's lining some of the more luxurious parts of the palace, where they've been slashed through and people have kind of barged their way through walls. Eventually, you make your way to the room where you had your meeting with the Salt Lord, his private garden, and you can see that the cherry blossom tree that had been in there has been set on fire, and is mostly gone. The roof seems to have burned out almost immediately because it's paper, and down by the little kind of flowing stream, you can see the mat that had been laid out where you had drunk tea. The teapot is still above a tiny stove, still steaming slightly, and you can see the remainder of the body of the Salt Lord there. So you're able to ascertain that he was probably beheaded here, and then they took the head and moved it downstairs.
Can I look around if I can find some magical items, anything that could be worth a lot.
Sure. So, looking around, you can tell that the tea set, at least in this room, is very valuable. Probably an antique, but it doesn't seem to be magical in any way. You can you head down to the library where you had been with Hagen before. You can see that it's very much in disarray. Things don't seem to have been burned, but you can definitely see that someone has been through here and either has been looking for something specifically or has just been throwing stuff around the room for the hell of it. So, like, a couple of the bookcases are still standing, but a few of them have just been kind of, like, pushed over. There are large amounts of ripped up books just kind of thrown around the room. You do find there are a couple of scrolls which are tucked away into various different bits. Normally they would have been locked inside cabinets, but the cabinets have been smashed to pieces, so for once that kind of works in your favour. So yeah.
Yeah, I grab everything that's to any type of interest to me, put it in my bag as much as I can fit, and I would like to take the teapot. So the tea set, if I can carry it. I don't want to put it in my bag, but I'm pretty sure the elven guy will be happy about it. He seemed to be close to the Salt Lord.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to, on your way back through, pick up the tea set. It's still fairly hot because it has just been sat over the open flame and steaming away, and by the time you get back, there's not much liquid left in there. There's the remainder of a very, very strong peppermint tea in there.
Nice. I can cool it down with prestidigitation to just make it carryable.
Yeah, easy enough. So yeah. All in all, it probably took you about 25 minutes ish to look around. The palace is not very large at all. It's mostly just fancy and ornate. There's not actually a lot of space.
So I got some scrolls. I guess you will give me them later, what it is.
Yes,
exactly.
I'll let you know during the break.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So,
yeah, after that I make my way to Roku's place, where the other ones are waiting.
Okay, cool. So, give me a second. Okay. So, the rest of you head down to the Church of Lolth, and you can see when you approach the door that the wooden doors have been closed, but you can see from some of the windows that there is definitely there's some dim candlelight coming from within, and you can hear talking. It's not very clear what is being said specifically, but you can definitely hear muffled voices inside, so you can assume there are people there. What would you guys like to do?
We need to get him on his own so that we can kill him. It's probably worth me going into stealth mode so that we're gonna have to go in. So if you guys are seen and I am not seen, it's probably the best way to do it.
Is there a way around the church? Are there like windows, anything where she could look in?
So there are windows kind of all around the church, but they are very high up. The windows that are kind of at a height where you can look in are the ones which are either side of the main doors. And round like the very back, there's a large stained glass window that's depicting Lolth.
Is there a back door?
No.
Or side door? Or
Can
basement door?
No. As far as you know, there is only...
Two questions. Anyone with fly or spider climb as a spell? Does Vixen have that? I don't know. Spider climb sounds like a spell she could have.
It sounds very much like a spell that she would take. Let me check her spell list for a second. Nope.
Sad. That would have fitted so well.
Yeah.
Can you send your familiar to look around? Can she see
I
through his eyes?
Yeah, I can. Let me read my thing. It says,
Yeah.
You're able to look through its eyes.
yeah. While your familiar was within 100 feet of you, communicate with it telepathically. Additionally, it says as an action. I guess we're not in combat right now.
Yeah, you're not
you
in.
can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the star go next turn.
Yeah.
It's an old church. You can send him in. He
Yeah.
can look around, check out which every room is. You can lay it out on a paper, and then we can go in and you know where to go.
Okay.
Because if you know the window of his room, you can just climb up the church. Like, you don't even have to use the door. Just go through the window.
Yeah, if I can climb. But before I send him in, because I'm gonna be in the rat, I feel like we should find somewhere defensive just in case anyone shows up. Because we can't just stand outside the door. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
be in the church. Like,
Mm,
Yeah,
look around. Cal, is there like something we can hide behind?
Make an investigation check.
Can you make it for Vixen as well?
Yep.
Never mind, she doesn't need it.
I rolled
Okay.
something good. What?
I know. Stranger things have happened. Hopefully now we fixed your sheet properly, that will be happening more. So
Hopefully.
that's good. So yeah. As you have a look around, you can see that there's a nearby house which has kind of like a almost like a porch that you can sit in. It's fairly close to the church, but pretty much as soon as you get kind of about 30 feet away from the church and into this kind of porch area, you're basically invisible because there's no light around.
Oh, okay, cool. That'll work. So I guess we'll go over there. I will crouch down, and you guys can kind of keep a lookout until I come back, if that's all right. So
how many people is around?
Sorry, what was your question?
How many people is around?
Not many at all. This is basically the middle of the quote unquote night. So like most people are asleep, or in the case of the drow and elves and such, are meditating in their own homes. So there's basically no one around on the streets.
Okay. If anyone doesn't have any further objections, I'll send Bart in and share contact with him.
Check that place out.
So I'll like squeeze in through a gap under the door and just kind of stay in the shadows and move under the benches into the church to nearer the people so he can hear what they're saying.
Okay, give me a second because I need to fix this.
If the map changes, you know what's gonna happen.
Okay, now. Yeah, cool. Okay, so you're able to pretty easily kind of squeeze Bart through one of the gaps under the main doors, and then when you look through his eyes, this is what you can see.
What's that? Beep, 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 beep.
Why is Hagen there?
Oh, sorry.
What did you say?
Why is Hawk there?
Why is all dark?
So
Why is Hawk there?
this is the first thing that you notice when you get close enough. You're able to see Hawk and the barman Koshka. They are both tied to chairs and kind
Right, that
of
makes more sense.
gagged. You can see that Glaurik and the and a few of the people that you've seen him kind of around town with He seems to be wearing his black robes as normal. You can see they seem to be wearing slightly kind of darker grey robes, and they each have this insignia, which is like a red hourglass, kind of on their clothing. And you can see Glaurik is in the middle of kind of having a conversation with his friends. It's kind of muffled as you begin to get closer. You can see that he appears to have with him on the table various different bits of fine food and a large amount of gold and what looks to be various different ornate weapons and things have been laid out on the table. And upon Glaurik's head, you can see a crown.
They killed the freaking Salt Lord. I'm not happy about this.
I can tell.
And they have stolen our friends, especially the cute one, Hawk. I don't like that. I don't forgive that.
Has that
Never.
anyone met Hawk?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But,
So,
Cal, I have a question.
Yes.
We see like a black screen. Is that what are we supposed to see?
Yeah, we only see a black screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Technically, only Robin is supposed to be able to see any of this. At the moment, also Laura can see because both of them have to have control of that token because it's a familiar thing. So,
okay.
but yeah.
Okay.
So for you, yeah, you can't see much, but Robin can.
Essentially, what I can see is, can I talk to them, even though I'm
not there, so.
Yeah, but I'm there. I will
Yeah.
see.
Yeah,
Hands up.
you can relay information to them, but you can't hear if they respond to you.
Okay. So I'll sort of explain to them what I see, how there's Hawk and the barman and various other people around the table, and Glaurik's wearing the crown, and it looks like they killed the Soul Lord.
I guess Vixen is upset as well because she loves Hawk as much as I do.
But
We're both upset.
they kill him all together. What's the
Hawk's like my best bud, so.
What's the
What, the
impression
Soul Lord?
they give?
Sorry, what was your question?
What's the impression they give? It's like a celebration party, or?
Oh yeah, very much so. It's difficult to hear exactly what's happening because it's fairly loud once you get inside the church. You can see that there are a couple of drow at the table, and both of them seem to be kind of like quietly sipping wine and just kind of watching the rest of what's going on. You can see that there's there is a hobgoblin who is kind of behind Hawk, who is drinking some wine, and then he gets to kind of like the bottom of the cup and then kind of just like pours the rest of it onto the top of Hawk's head, and Hawk just kind of like and the rest of them start laughing about that.
They will all die.
How many people is there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, including Hawk and the barman.
At least, or
There's Glaurik, and he has 8 people with him, and then your friends.
okay.
Does any of you have an invisibility spell, or does Vixen have an invisibility spell?
Well, we have better things than invisibility. Actually, we know Hawk and
Sneaky
the
AF.
other guy.
I've got stuff like minor illusion and mage hand and stuff like that, which
Yeah,
we
the
might be
issue
able to use
is
or something. But
the issue is there's no back door, so you will have to walk in on the front door. In the best case, with us, so they won't really recognize you. We close the door behind us. We are just like, oh, okay, seemingly we're here in the wrong timing, and you just put the poison into his bottle or his glass. But,
yeah,
if you're not invisible, it will be hard to not be seen by 11 or more people if you're
Yeah.
walking around there. So that the stealthiness is not enough, and we don't have enough people to kill all of them because it's just the 3 of us. us, I guess.
Huh.
The other two are away.
They did say that they were going to come and check on us, though, so we could wait for them to get here and then.
Well,
Deal with
if they are partying, we can wait till they are drunk.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, but they might kill Hawk and what's his name?
I mean, I don't want to kill Hawk. He's a nice guy.
I ain't letting Hawk
Well,
die.
well,
Like that ain't
No.
happening.
That's just not a situation.
Hawk likes to
That's
do
just not
things.
even an option.
We rule that out. Yeah, the other thing could be that Vixen or Ellen could see Hagen and Alessia and the elf guy walk into the direction of Roku, because I think they pass the church if they do that.
Yeah, that timing would work out. Like around about now, when you're when you're investigating, you'll see Hagen and you'll hear Alessia, because it's kind of difficult not to hear Alessia approaching. But yeah. So we'll say that that's what's happening around about then.
Yeah, I will stay with Bart in the church just to keep an eye on them, and if one of you could run and get them.
Yeah, Vixen is making a little bit of like, psst, psst, hey, psst. Look here.
Why don't you get
Don't forget
all
we're in the dark.
in the party, like you were friends and you were happy with what is happening, and you can start like distracting them by playing something or something like that. Meanwhile, while
That's
everyone is
true.
distracted, it's when you can't do.
Yeah, as I said, it would be possible if we could turn her invisible. I think she could then easily, like, she's sneaky enough, but if she's not invisible, even getting to the door.
Well, I've got
basically-
my cloak, which essentially, in theory, I'm just going to roll with this cow. I've got my cloak, so that essentially will give me the advantage on stealth rolls.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. So,
But it's still perception of 11 people.
How proficient is Bartholomew with the hands?
how what?
Oh, wait.
Proficient.
What range do you have with the mage hand?
Oh, it just says. Oh, let me check my sheet. One sec.
Can I run
It's
with
longer
that-
range
with
than
that-
normal because you are Arcane Trickster.
Yep, and you
Okay.
can do a lot of more things with it.
Yeah, is that actually on my?
It should
Sheet.
be. Give me a second to
I
check.
can't remember if it's with what mage hand.
Yeah.
It says 30 feet in the
I
description.
can look on my other sheet.
Let me check out. Let me do a real quick googly goo here.
Okay. Oh no, where's my pen? I'll be 2 seconds. Don't say anything. I'm just gonna grab a pen so I can write down what you say.
Okay. That's not helpful. Here we go. It doesn't say that it increases the range specifically. It just increases things you can do with it.
Okay. Yeah, so the range is 30 feet.
Yeah.
Right. What were you thinking that I could possibly do with it?
You could just not go in there. You could use the mage hand.
Oh, I see.
Take the poison, bring it in, and put it in his glass.
I mean,
So you
I
don't
could,
even
but
have to go in. A mage hand is way less visible than a human being.
But they will
yeah,
see-
the mage hand I can make invisible, but I can't make the poison invisible.
No, that's right, but it's just a tiny flask, and if you move it above them, like at the ceiling, it's like seeing a fly on the ceiling.
Yeah, but how am I supposed to get it into his glass from up there?
Yeah.
Like, it is a good idea, but obviously
Yeah.
I can't make the vial.
Yeah, like the vial, like the moment when the vial comes down from the ceiling to put it in the glass. someone has to distract him. I guess a bard could be kind of distracting, jumping around and doing his thing.
Yeah.
He is generally interesting. Like, people will look at him. That should be enough.
I think like it's the same problem though. We've still got to deal with the perception of 11 people. Or
Can we
9.
make sure that he will?
But yeah, as I said, a vial is way tinier and less obvious than, like, if everybody looks at the door, no one will look at his glass.
Yeah.
Mm.
We
But
can try
30
that.
feet
I'm
is-
up for trying that.
But 30 feet is not enough. That's just not close enough. You still have to go through the door.
Beam?
You could do it. Like, you could go with the bar through the door, keep the flask above at the ceiling.
I don't even need to go to the door. I could just go to the other end of the church. Because they're right up they're right down the end of the church by the wall, and if there are windows all the way around,
Can you
I
get
could
it
just
through?
stand.
What type of windows are they? Are they openable, or are they more like the church windows? They're
No,
like,
they're church windows. They're like leaded into place.
so you
and stuff.
can't open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, so you can't open them. Yeah, that was my fear. That's not a normal window like this. So you have to go in.
Yeah.
So, being pragmatic, I wish that we want to play a game of 11 perception rolls against us, and if we fail, we have to fight.
Like, I have the portent. If one of them could pass it, I still can give him a 9, and that's kind of low.
And I don't know, and you're using me as a bait, and I don't like it. I mean, I want to.
Yeah, that's right.
I want
We
to
will
be
use you as a
Marshall.
bait.
I'm
I
willing
wouldn't
to.
call it bait. I would say performer.
No.
Performance artist.
That's like, why are you there?
Yeah, but I was there to discuss other people, not even potential people that has just
Yeah, I see the
still
problem.
a king.
If you are a bard and you are doing like your thing, no one will blame you if someone.
Well,
Yeah, but why in the middle of the night in a
it's
church?
in
Like,
the middle of the night in a.
they're not stupid, and they know he knows the guys they just got. So,
How do you feel about sacrificing your rat?
to be fair, I have spider climb. I'm stupid. Yeah, I guess I will also come across them at some point.
Yeah, when you're leaving, as you're going down the steps with some scrolls in your backpack and an antique tea set, just wandering down the road.
As you do.
You can. If the rest of you want to try and get her attention, then it's easy enough for you to do so.
Yeah, I feel like.
Yeah,
Well, I'm still in the
Vixen
church.
will. No, Vixen will.
Yeah.
Like, she also got the list. Yes. So yeah, Amanora comes around. They tell her what's happening.
And
Alessia
Alyssa.
already
Oh no, you're
knows.
not together anymore. Sorry.
Oh, but she's already there. She already knows what's going on, and Hagen as well. I guess Hagen decides to go with the injured ones
Yeah.
to Moroku,
Okay.
and with the half of as well.
Yeah.
And they manage.
Hagen just tells you that he's going to take the other guy to go and get healed with Roku, and then he'll probably come back and hope that you're okay.
Should I stay
We'll be fine.
outside, like waiting for?
Can you stay next to the door, like hiding,
Yeah.
and when someone comes out, just behead them?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I have.
If you're wanting to stand outside the door, Alessia, and try and hide, make a stealth check for me, please.
God.
Here we go.
Just relax there.
I went out of roll 20 without. Sorry.
So yeah, I would suggest.
But you have to be careful. So I just can't behead anyone that goes out. I have to look who is coming.
Whoever comes out, if it's not Hawk or Koshka, what's the name?
Yeah, Koshka.
All of them, but Hawk or Koshka. And if they come out, knock them out so we can ask questions.
Okay.
Okay. Can you make the stealth check for me, Alessia, please?
Yeah.
This is my last level 2 spell. I'm not happy. Oh my goodness!
God.
Hey!
She's stealthy as fuck.
Yeah.
What is happening today?
So
My
you're
soul,
used to
my gray skin
Matches the.
Blends in
matches
with the frame.
the church.
yeah, like the normally like hulking form of Alessia would stand out against any other building, but up against a humongous church, it's fine.
She just like disappears. We're like, where's she gone?
Yeah, she walks like 10 feet away from you into the
I'm
darkness and then just
wearing-
whoomph, gone.
Nice.
Okay, Emanora looks confused. Touches the scrolls on her back. All there. Good.
Thanks.
Kada, what do
Gonna
you
get me
think
drunk.
about a little bit of climbing action?
Oh, do you have to cast it on someone else?
No, I can cast it on myself, but why not the stealthy one? You could go through another door.
So what is spider climb?
You can just basically walk up walls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is
So you-
there another point of access?
Make
magic.
a
I did
perception
ask if
check.
there was a like
Yeah.
thing earlier, and you said no. Oh, my
Not on the
perception's
ground
shit.
floor.
What?
Oh,
What?
what is happening today?
You see everything.
What is this?
I have no idea.
I feel like
Roll 20 is on our side for a change. What the
Yeah,
hell?
I feel like Roll20 feels bad for all of the stuff that's happened to you so far this campaign. It's just like, here you go, have some freebies. all right. So yeah, you have a little, you have a look around, scan the building, and you notice that up the top there is what seems to be like a, almost like a small bell tower, and you can see in that bell tower there is a door.
Okay, so if I climb up there, then what?
You go down slowly, stealthily, and there should be another door that leads into that room where they sit right now.
Yeah.
Not into the church, but if you're in there, there are other rooms, and you can go in from another door. So when we open the front door and tell them, "Hello, bitches, we're here," you can sneak in from the other side. They will be looking at us.
But are we doing that as a team, or I am still going? I'm still the bait here.
If you're too scared, I will show you how to do it properly, Ellen.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long does the spell last? Because I need to get back out again.
Around an hour.
Oh, okay, that's cover it. Either we're fighting our way out, or I'll climb out through the bell tower.
Yeah, we will see what happens then. So
Is it
Yeah.
worth like? Because Hagen and Alicia are still with Roku, right? But they were coming back.
Alassia's with you. She's
Oh, okay.
stealthed up against a wall.
Looking at the door.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh,
She's gone.
sorry.
Yeah.
no, we don't
Duh.
know where she is.
Yeah,
She's
we don't.
somewhere.
She's around. Okay, yeah. Let's try this.
Okay, then I.
If we open the
what's
door,
the
can we
component?
do it like in style?
What was that, Fran?
If we open the door, can we do it like in style, like Team Rocket style, something like that?
Oh my god, yes, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with stupid poses, like.
Just dab at them.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, I take out of my component pouch a spider and bitumen. I have absolutely no clue what that is. A drop. I drop it on the spider and make my whirling blue light thing and touch Kada with it. And now you can walk up walls.
Thanks.
There's a brief moment when you get like a zoom in, like in the first Spider-Man film, where you see like the tiny little like hairs on your hand, like you're just like,
Go.
So yeah, I obviously like leave Bart. I'm gonna leave him wherever he is. So we've got
And
a
I will
spy there.
send. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, do that. Go alone. It's fine. We will wait. I will give you time. We will wait 20 minutes for you to get down to the door that it's heading into that room.
I'm a bit worried that we don't have that much time. Like, you don't need to wait
20
that long,
minutes.
surely. It's not going to take too much for me to climb in a bell tower and get to a door.
And get down. Okay. Yeah, scout always with the rat in front of you if there's no one else in the room that you want to enter.
Okay.
so you get like a sense where people
Yeah.
could be and where not.
Okay,
And
so in that
let's say
case, Bart
10
comes out of the
minutes?
church and I put him in my pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, then let's say 10 minutes. In 10
Okay.
minutes, Neil and Ellen will go in there and distract them.
Make as much noise and distraction.
Easy as that. And you can get then hopefully the vial. Maybe using the mage hand, maybe that's a good idea, into his glass. We want to kill Glaurik. The other ones for now are not that important. They will
Yeah.
be confused and we can get our guys out there.
I just are we 100% sure this is going to work? Because once he sees you guys, well, no, obviously, but once he sees you guys, is he really going to go back to drinking from his glass?
Oh, I will just convince him that I'm just here to look around and that nothing interesting to see here, so I will leave again with Ellen. We are just checking out the city in the night. We thought this is the Salt Lord's Rest, but
you can say that you went to the posada,
to the tavern.
to the tavern and looking for your friends, and you couldn't find them, so you just wander around, and apparently they are here.
You heard the
Yeah.
noise.
yeah.
Does Glaurik know
And
who we are?
you can say something like our friend never loses a party or something like that, and we hear the noise and thought he was going to be here, and here he is.
Yeah, that's my
Or something like
question. I don't
How-
think they know me or Ellen.
They know Vixen.
They know Vixen, but that's the only one they
Well,
should know.
Like
honestly,
They know
Costa-
Vixen by sight.
Koshka knows.
Kosta is in debt with me because
Who is?
he's relaunching his career as a singer.
He actually knows all of us.
Glaurik.
No, but
Koshka.
Oh, the
Anjora.
barman. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but that
That's
doesn't
fine.
matter.
It's the
just
baddies.
need
If they know any
yeah.
of us, that's why I'm just
They will
thinking
probably know. But listen, they probably know. It's basically their city. We came here. We're a bunch of people they don't know. So why shouldn't they already seen us with Vixen? They probably know about us, and they probably know that we have.
Honestly, we've not been with her that much. At least,
yeah.
I haven't.
I'm just worried that once they see Vixen, they'll he's not gonna.
Oh, Vixen will stay outside for that moment. It's just distraction. Vixen comes into killing everybody.
Oh, okay.
When we
That's
have
fine.
to.
That's fine.
Wait a second.
So plan A is we try to do it stealthily without killing everybody. Plan B is we just kill everybody.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's
wait,
always
wait,
plan
wait.
B, isn't it?
Yeah.
Laura, are you Emanora or Vixen?
I'm right now Amanora.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Eminora's with us.
everything's in place now.
Okay. So
Yeah.
10 minutes. I'm gonna
By the
climb up
time
and down.
10 minutes.
Mhm.
The door. Yes.
Okay.
Scout ahead.
Yep.
Don't get
I've got Bart.
cash.
Pats my pocket gently.
Oh, and Vixen will give Akeda the flask of poison.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
You
So
could shove it down his throat if he makes any problems.
Oh, okay. I will.
okay. So you hand over the vial of poison. The two of you take up positions outside the door, ready to burst in if you need to. As you get closer, you can see Alessia now, kind of pressed up against the door, waiting. And Kada, you head up towards a portion of wall and begin to climb up the side of the building. Very, very. It's an odd sensation because it's kind of like that moment in Inception where they begin to walk just vertically up the wall. Like you just step onto the wall and you can just walk up it.
Nice.
And as you begin to,
I can't really do that action. Like.
yeah. So as you begin to scale up the wall, you make your way to the bell tower and begin to peer in, and you're able to just hear the distant sounds of conversation as they come up through the bell tower, through the door, and that's where we're going to go to break.
Dun, dun, dun.
We'll be back in a few minutes. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys soon.
Shaltosh kelsila troulul tuin yana Shaltosh untensila ibahali ulul kwala Shaltosh kurtexila Resolush Chazukuth when you pluie ninja she sagust. Shaltosh kelsila troulul tuin yana Shaltosh untensila ibahali ulul kwala Shaltosh kurtexila Sresulush Chazukuf when Lupluin Ninja Shioto Sagrust.
And we're back. So we will pick up where we had just left off. Kada, you have managed to make your way to the onto the roof of this building. Can you make a stealth check for me, please?
Yes. I can. Well, that wasn't very good.
Okay. So when you're on the roof of this, as you begin to kind of make your way across it, there is a point when one of the tiles, that's kind of a roof tile, falls off and starts sliding down towards the bottom. Can you make a dexterity saving throw for me, please? Okay. You notice it just as it's about to start heading down towards the edge, and you have to scramble for it, but you manage to grab it just as it's about to go off the edge of the roof and smash on the floor. And you manage to catch it and just kind of put it back in place. And you more gingerly make your way back to the door. So when you reach this, it's a fairly small kind of wooden door. A little. You get the sense it's designed for people to be kind of crouched down when they're up here, so the door isn't built for you to be at kind of full standing height. And you notice that there is a padlock.
How do I do that? Do I just click it?
Yep. Ooh, easy enough. Yeah,
Almost a nap.
You reach down to your toolkit on your side. You get out a couple of lock picks, and this is one of the easiest locks that you have ever picked. You literally just kind of like, okay, and put in. Oh, it's open. Cool. So yeah, you're able to open the door. It lets out just like a little bit of a squeak on the hinges as you do, but it's barely audible. Inside the this kind of belfry-like tower, you can see there is a pretty decent size bronze bell, and attached to it, it's attached by ropes to a kind of central pivot, slightly higher up, and there's a rope which seems to trail down into the bottom of the of the shaft of this tower. Inside, it's quite small. You can see that there is a ladder which seems to lead down, that goes kind of down the inside of this as well.
Can I see what's at the bottom?
How far is your dark vision? I think it's 60 feet.
I have no idea.
It'll be like really close to the top of your sheet somewhere. Let me check.
What was
Dark
it?
vision. Okay, yeah, it's the standard, so it's 60 feet.
Oh, right, yeah, I see.
So you can only see so far down the inside of this before your vision basically gives out. There isn't a light source at the bottom.
Can I hear anything?
Make a perception check. You can hear muffled voices. It's clearer now that you're getting closer in, but you can hear kind of the sound of laughter. You can hear the sound of kind of chairs scraping against stone, and the sound of what you assume to be like the sound of raucous partying. You have heard this many a time when you've been breaking in somewhere while people are partying downstairs.
But presumably, like, I can't hear anything directly below me. It's just kind of coming from the other room.
It's difficult to tell because of the way the sound
Okay.
travels. It sounds like it's coming from directly below you, but you know that locationally it's not directly below you.
Okay. I'll move over to the ladder and slowly climb down, but in a way that I can kind of see a few feet before I go too quickly, so I can see if there's anyone there or anything.
Okay.
And see what the room is like before I get to the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough. Once you climb down about 30 feet or so, you can see the bottom now. You can see that the ladder ends, the kind of It's like the tower kind of like widens out when you get further down to be kind of the top of a room, and you can see the rest of the room when you get in there. There's some red carpeting, very similar to the carpeting that you'd seen in the main body of the church in here, but it seems to cover the entirety of the floor of this room. You can see that there's the altar seems to have been moved into here. You assume would be put where the large table is currently. You can see that also in this room there seems to be more and more stockpiled loot. You can see various different what seems to be paintings and sculptures and vases and gold kind of like arrayed in this side room. And you can see as you get further down that the door appears to be closed between this room and the main body of the church.
Okay. So I'm gonna get to the bottom and just take a quick pause to see if I can hear anything that's not the party. If there's anyone in any adjoining rooms, like behind me or something.
Okay. Make another perception check.
Oh dear.
No, now you've got this far down. The sound coming from the other room is pretty damn loud.
Okay.
But yeah. Like glancing around the room, there doesn't seem to be anyone else in here. There don't seem to be any other doors leading out of here except the one that seems to lead into the main body of the church.
Okay. I will quickly take a handful of gold as I walk past it and put it in my pocket and head towards the door.
Okay. You pretty easily can kind of like grab a handful of around about 20 gold. Can you make a sleight of hand check for me, please?
Oh, what? Come on.
Oh.
I had with advantage, right? Because no one was around.
There's this moment when you put your hand in, you grab some of this gold, and you go to kind of pull it out to put it in your hand, and it starts to slip out of your hand, and you hear the sound of coins falling from the floor, and also
Sorry, guys, I
coins
might
from this
just
piled
fuck
up
this.
chest start to pour over onto the floor as well. And you have this moment when like you are kicking yourself inside, and you're like, why do I always do this?
That's literally how I feel right now. It's not even just my character.
Let me do a quick perception check for this guy.
If I hear it, I will.
Oh, you are lucky.
Good.
Oh,
So
Oh my God.
you can see now, like you freeze for a second, and you can see that there is light that's coming through from the under this door from the main body of the church, and you can see what seems to be the shadows of like someone stepping in front of the door, and for a moment you think that you're going to like have someone come into the room, but then they step away from the door again. They apparently did not hear you.
Fuck for that. Do I still get the gold?
You still get the gold. 20
How
gold.
much did you say? 20 gold. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I, without, I move over to the door, without making any obvious movements of the door, or opening the door or anything, can I tell if it's unlocked?
Make an investigation check. From taking like a quick look at the door, you realize that there doesn't seem to be a lock on it. There just seems to be like a bolt that you can pull from either side, and the bolt is currently open.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. I will take Bart out of my pocket and put
Okay.
him on the floor and get him to like squeeze under the door, and then look through his eyes to just check what's going on.
Okay. Give me a second to put Bart back on the map, and then move you over.
Thanks.
Where's it gone? Okay.
Sammy, I love how every time you freeze your camera, you do it when you're smiling, not when you're like,
I do that on purpose.
oh, okay. It's completely dark. I can't see anything. I don't know if
Give
that's
me
by
a
design or not.
second.
Oh, okay.
I have to change the settings on the thing.
Oh, okay.
How's that fix it?
It's got a big bit through the middle that I can't see, which includes the table.
That will be because there's a pillar in the way.
Oh yeah, I see that. Okay. So I'm gonna move to this shadowy bit up here,
Okay.
and then I will wait until 10 minutes has passed. Actually, I'll wait until 9 minutes has passed, and then when 9 minutes has passed, I will stop using Bart's eyes and be ready to open the door. I'll put my hood up and go into full hidey stealth mode and be ready to open the door.
Okay. Can you make a stealth check for Bart?
Yes. Is that on his sheet? Is that even a thing?
It'll just be Dex.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh my god! What the fuck is going on?
So
Okay, cool.
as Bart, you can basically go wherever you want. Like, they are so busy, like, partying and getting into various states of drunk that they don't even notice that there is a rat in the room.
Nice.
So,
It's probably also really common in churches that they're.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Like, it's not really uncommon that probably just the rat shows up randomly. You can maybe make some friends. All
So,
right.
yeah.
So if the 10 minutes pass at 9 minutes as well, I prepare
before that, is there anything that you would like to do with Bart with the knowledge that no one knows you are there?
Poison them.
Oh, he hasn't got the vial.
Oh.
Okay, how dexterous is this rat?
Depends how well you roll on Dex. Apparently pretty good.
Can I, like, tie their shoelaces together or stupid things like that?
That would probably be a little bit too far.
Oh.
Can you bite the rope that's tying Hoga and the other guy?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Presumably they're tied with rope.
Yeah, they're tied with rope.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Good plan,
at
Fran.
least they feed something.
So, can you make 2 strength checks for me to see if he is able to, like, gnaw through the rope?
Oh Christ, it's -4. This ain't gonna work, guys. So
Okay.
you might get through one.
Yeah, you were able to bite through one. Which one do you untie?
Hawk.
That was predictable. Okay, yeah.
From all of us as well.
I mean, the other
No
guy won't be
question.
helpful. Hawk can be helpful.
Yeah, that's my thought as well. He's got spells and shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
he's good looking.
So you finish gnawing through the ropes on Hawk, and Hawk, like, realizing that his hands are now untied, like, keeps them in place, but just kind of, like, looks down and sees Bart there, and just kind of, like, nods, and then just, like, looks back forwards again, waiting.
While he's looking at me, I'll make him, like, wink. In, like, rat style.
Like,
So cute.
We can run fast.
Hawk, like, ever so slightly chuckles, and just like...
Okay. Once I've done that, I'm gonna move over to... What's his name?
Koshka.
Koshka. Like, under his chair, so I can maybe attempt to have another go at the ropes in a minute.
Okay.
Or Bart is gonna move anyway.
I'd say with the time you've got, you have time for one more attempt.
Okay.
But to make this next attempt, you will have to make another stealth check to see if they notice you or not.
Okay. Oh no! Bart, no!
Not so good this time. So, as you're kind of like coming out to try and nibble at Koshka, the bugbear that is standing behind him kind of notices this rat, and you see him kind of like smile at it, and he is going to try and grab. Can you make a dexterity saving throw for Bart, please?
Is that just with Dex again?
Yeah, it'll be just dex because they're not proficient in any saving throws. Okay, and for this guy,
Oh no, Bart, no.
You can resummon.
it's tied.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
it's actually tied.
Ties go in favor of the players.
Oh, the player. Yeah, please.
Oh, so very close. This guy like leans down and he looks like he's like opening his jaws, like he's going to try and eat Bart. And
Run away!
you're able to just be like whoop. And now this bugbear is going to try and follow Bart because he's spotted a tasty
hang on,
meal
I'm
and
gonna
he's
run the
just
other way
like,
then.
Go in the direction of the door.
okay.
Oh,
Let me see. Can
I'm running away from the door, not towards
Oh,
it.
no, I mean the big door.
Oh right, yeah, could do. That's a good idea.
what is Bart's speed?
20 feet.
Okay. So let me make
So it's
quick
about
roll for this guy.
there.
Let me see. It's gonna be 3. Oh,
ouch.
this is a lucky rat. So this guy is definitely faster than Bart, but in the process of trying to like chase after him, Bart like runs under the table and he tries to like climb under the table to go after him and ends up just getting like stuck under the table.
Shame.
Until kind of like a few seconds later you can hear like Glaurik just being like, Torva, what are you doing? Now come on. And like commands like 2 of the others like, come on, Halleck, Void, come on, get him out of there. Jesus. And like managed to like pull him out like by the legs. And Torva like has to like push them away and is like now sulking in the corner of the room. And Bart is able to make it wherever you want to send him.
Okay. Who's in what corner of the room?
Let me see. Torva has gone over to like this table by himself to like lean against it and look sulky. Okay. And we'll say around about now the 10 minutes has passed.
So I leave Bart and come back to myself.
Okay.
I disguise myself as... Oh, does Vixen have a symbol of Lolth, but a not fancy one, like an old one that you maybe carry with you? Like not the one from the Silk Mother?
I do have one that I got from.
Can I get that?
Yeah.
Okay, then I put that on and disguise myself as what I saw as common in this area. Like, I want to look like someone who could be from this area, but not particularly from this city, because they probably would know them.
Okay. Yeah, that's easy enough to do. You basically end up looking slightly like a like. It's kind of difficult to tell whether you're like a merchant or a farmer, maybe a bit of both. Like it's kind of nondescript, but matches kind of the fashion of the area. Not too ornate or fancy, but like nice.
Okay. So yeah, when the 10 minutes are over, I knock the door slightly and I put on a frightened act and open the door right instant. I don't wait for an answer. I knock and I open the door.
So as she opens the door, I open this door as quietly as I can, but I don't open it very far. I just open it so that I can like let go of the handle, but the door is not like open.
Okay. Kada, make a stealth check with advantage because the guy guarding the door is drunk. Emanora,
Sorry,
you knock
what
on
check did you say?
stealth check.
Oh.
Emanora, you knock on the door and try to push it, but it seems to be closed currently.
But I knocked.
You did knock. Make a
I-
strength check.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'll be right back. I'm just going to close the door because Mark's loud.
It's cool. Okay. That's loud enough that
I didn't even hear Mark.
No. We couldn't hear Mark, but we could definitely hear you.
Yeah, that was funny.
Sorry.
It's fine. So yeah, it's loud enough that a couple of people head towards the door. After about 20 seconds of waiting, you can see what looks to be a Durgar, one of the deep dwarves, opens up the door. Fairly short, with a very bushy white beard and grey skin, and just black eyes, like staring up at you. And behind them, in very stark contrast, a quite tall bugbear, who appears to be holding a morning star in one hand that is still slightly bloody.
Hello, good sirs. I'm looking for the priest of the city. It's really important. It's really important. I really have to talk to the priest.
Make a persuasion or a deception check, because
Can I, while she's doing this,
Yep.
can I like look back through Bart's eyes and see how many of them are looking at the door and like where they're all looking?
Apart from the two that went to the door, which I will move them there now. The rest of them don't seem to be paying any attention.
Okay. So they're still looking at each other and the table and stuff.
Yeah, all of them seem to be like still kind of joking and drinking, and Torva is still staring at the floor and looking grumpy.
Okay.
So with that persuasion check, you can see that the bugbear is like still like, but then the deep dwarf is just like, patience, brother. We are still a church after all.
It's life and death. It's a question of life and death. Trust me, it's really important. I wouldn't come here at this late at night if it wouldn't be that serious.
Say no more, sister. Please come in. Please don't mind the noise. We're celebrating. I'm sure you'll find out in the morning. And invites you in. So
lovely.
Give me a second.
I need you to make lots of noise to make them all look at you.
Okay. So yeah, you can now see the situation arrayed in front of you. They begin to kind of lead you towards the table, as you can see, which is laid out with a very large amount of food and various different treasures, things that you can definitely recognize from when you were in the Salt Lord's palace before. A few things which had previously caught your eye, and you know 100% belong to the Salt Lord.
Did they leave the door open or closed?
The door. Let me just. I'll do a luck roll for that one.
I like that.
That was a good question. When you've done that, can you tell me where they're all looking now that she's in and approaching the table?
You can see that Hawk and Koshka are very much like looking at you, just kind of like confused, because they don't recognize you because you are disguised. And you can see that Glaurik is also looking in your direction, but the rest seem to be continuing on with what they were doing before.
So yeah, I guess they bring me to Glaurik.
Yes, they do. And the question of whether the door is still the door is closed again, but but they did not lock it again.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah, as we approach the situation at the table, I will try to put on a impressive aura, like my leader type of walking and posture and stuff, to be more obvious.
Okay. Give me a performance check. All right, not bad, not bad.
Could be worse.
Yeah. You give off kind of enough of an affect as you start approaching that Glaurik, he continues sitting where he is. He kind of finishes one of his glasses of wine and then like sets it down, and you can see him kind of stand up and walk forward to meet you, kind of in front of the table.
Where's her token?
Right down at the bottom.
Oh, right, yeah.
So yeah, he steps forward in front of the table, like waiting to receive you. It's just like, my sister, you have come to me in your hour of need, and I will provide, as love told me to do. Now, what is it you need?
I saw something disturbing. I was traveling through the city. I'm a merchant, and something I can't even describe it. If I think it was a ghost, and it was horrifying.
No, so slow down, sister. Still, slow down. The ghost, you say?
It screamed really loudly. I ran away directly to the church. I thought it would be the best place to go. Who else could you trust?
No, you've done the right thing here, sister. Now, I know there is someone who can solve this problem, someone who works for the Salt Lord. If you can maybe go to see them, they may be able to help you.
Okay, so the Salt Lord. I all right. Okay. At this time?
If it is, as you say, a matter of life and death, then by the Spider Queen, I swear it, you will find the help you need.
Sure. Then I'm happy to see you celebrate. And then I will probably move on. And as I turn around, I will put on like a trembling act, like I let myself fall, like I'm trembling over my own feet, basically, because I'm so nervous.
Okay.
Where are they all looking?
When you fall to your feet, like everyone, pretty much everyone except Torva, like looks towards like you on the floor and is just like, what's going on? Like you've started to kind of gain the attention of people by like talking about ghosts and like falling on the floor.
So I will take the opportunity when they've all looked away to sneak in through the door and hide behind the pillar.
Okay. Make a stealth check. Okay, cool. Let me pop your token on.
Thanks.
So yeah, where are you going to hide specifically?
Who is this guy?
This is the guy who has been guarding the door very badly and drunk.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Here. No. Here.
Okay, fair enough. I will make a perception check for this guy, but I'm pretty sure it's at disadvantage.
Sorry, just don't say it, Cal. Just don't jinx it. Just roll it. Just don't jinx it.
Damn.
Oh yeah. This guy, like, he notices like the door opens slightly, but this is like after you have already like darted out and moved, and he's just like, uh.
Okay.
So yeah. For the purposes of this, you are currently very well hidden.
Okay. Can you tell me like how shady is this church? Because now that I'm on the map, I can see everything, so I don't have any more shadows.
It's fairly shady. Like, apart from around the table and like the central aisle, that area was all pretty well lit, but the rest of the church is pretty much in darkness.
Okay, thanks.
They throw in major shade.
So yeah, when I'm laying on the floor, I will look at the table at Hawk and whatever his name is. I forgot it again.
Koshka.
Koshka, and I will recognize them as tied up, even if I already know, and say, "Oh, are you celebrating that you caught some? How do you call that? If people don't believe?"
Oh, heretics.
Yeah. Now I understand. I'm sorry that I disturbed you.
Oh no, it's not a problem, not a problem at all. You see, we found these conspiring. We think that they might have been planning to do something bad to the Salt Lord. So, just doing the right thing.
Oh my goodness, that sounds terrible. I can't even imagine that someone wants to hurt the Salt Lord. He's
You're telling me,
he's
sister.
ruling above me. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely doing the right thing. I'm so happy that there are righteous and careful people as you around my home.
Make a deception check for me, please.
Okay.
¿Qué diferencia hay entre las
Deception es esconder es como pretender.
Oof.
I used a 10. I used a 9. I used
Yep.
a 9.
Okay. That's good use of portent there. So yeah, you can tell he's still looking kind of suspicious. He starts to look a bit kind of suspiciously at you. And he's just like,
I'm sorry. I just lost my I saw this ghost, and I don't know. I should head off to the Salt Lord.
No,
I hope it didn't follow me. It
No,
saw
wait.
me and screamed at me. I'm not sure.
Now wait a minute. I think you're in a bit of a state of shock right now. And well, it would be a sin of me not to try and help calm your nerves. Please, come, have a drink of wine and take a seat for a while. We can send someone to go and talk to the Salt Lord for you. But I think you might need to be safe for a little while.
That would be so. Yeah, I can't even put it into words how grateful I am.
Not at all. Please come this way. And he kind of gestures for you to come and join him. He like whispers to one of the hobgoblins who's been sat on the chair next to him, and the hobgoblin kind of stands up and like offers his seat to you and moves over to another one. Glaurik takes his seat back at the head of the table, and there is now a seat next to him that's been kind of laid out for you.
Okay, I take a seat. I sit down.
Okay.
Cal, can I just ask a quick question?
Yep.
If I were to cast, I kind of want to cast two spells kind of at the same time. I was thinking about maybe casting Thaumaturgy and then casting Mage Hand.
You could do Thaumaturgy and then Mage Hand, yeah.
Would that be alright? Because
yeah.
I kind of had an idea to, because can cause flames to flicker bright and dim or change colour. So I was thinking if I sort of set it up to dim them and then use the mage hand to move the violin while they're dim so they don't see it.
Yeah,
Would
that's
be okay?
definitely doable.
Okay.
You could dim the flames, and then I'd give you advantage on the check to move the violin scene.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay. So Emanora, as you all kind of sit down, you notice that the candles that have been kind of arranged in various different points around both the aisle of the church and on the tables, the light level of them kind of dims down, all of them simultaneously for a second. And Glaurik kind of glances in your direction and just raises an eyebrow for a second.
I look shocked that the candles moved. I look panicking to the other ones at the table.
Make lots of noise. Scream or something.
Yeah, I could just say like, "Is this the ghost? Is the ghost following me? Am I cursed?"
Make another deception check.
Uh-oh.
I keep going with the 9s.
I will remind you again. You guys do have inspiration dice to use if you want to use them.
Oh.
Use one.
True.
What?
I use
What?
my
Can you
inspiration
remind me what they
dice.
are?
Can we allow the other people to use them?
No, you have to use them on your own character. So,
It's a
Alessia,
D6,
Emanora,
right?
and Vixen,
Yeah.
you last time because you won awards, you each get a D6 that you can add to any roll.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Do
I
we
added
all
to
do we all have inspiration dice?
No,
Okay, sure.
just those who
Sorry.
won awards last time. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that bumps up to a 13. Let
Yeah.
me give me a check from him.
Nice.
His senses have been dulled somewhat by the wine, so he immediately just kind of he looks over to you and he kind of like extends a hand to you, kind of like overtaking. He's just like, "It'll be okay, sister. You're in safe hands here."
So while he's kind of got his hand extended to Emanor and his body is kind of turned, I'm going to cast Mage Hand really quickly and get the vial over there and whoop in his drink.
Okay, it's a range of 30 feet. You are currently 70
I
feet
didn't
away.
realise. Yeah. Okay.
I have to get closer, but I can grab his hand and just hold it and just like, I'm so grateful.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to sneak up behind. Oh, I suppose it is dark, right?
It's currently darkened because the candlelight has been dimmed. You would have to make a stealth check, but the stealth check will be at advantage.
Yeah.
It will be anyways an advantage because I have the cloak of heaven.
What is this table like? If I were to hide under it, is it really obvious that there's someone hiding under it?
Not particularly, actually. Like it's a pretty solid like oak table, really heavy. The shadows underneath it are very dark.
Okay, I will attempt to move under to the table.
Okay. Easy enough to do.
Mhm.
And you definitely manage it. You are underneath this table.
And now within range.
Yep.
So I will do the same thing.
Okay. Stealth check again. Yep.
Oh, again.
Oh, actually, it would be sleight of hand because mage hand.
Oh no. Yes.
Oh,
Oh my god! If I ever needed a natural 20 in my life.
that's just. Wow.
That's it. That's what we wanted to see.
Yes.
So
Yes. Roll 20.
So in the moment where Emanora is distracting, kind of like grabbing his hand, you can see that Glaurik is like fully like paying attention to you, trying to calm you down, trying to be like a calming presence. And in that moment, he is looking away from his glass, which he has placed to his right, and you just see this vial just kind of very quickly like back out of the way again, and no one else has noticed.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Did they give me a glass of wine too?
Yes. At this point, Glaurik kind of like reaches over and he's just like, I think it's best if you try and calm your nerves a little bit. I can see that you're all shaken up by the experience. So, and he grabs a glass and hands it over to you, and then pours some wine into it, and pours some into his own glass as well, and kind of like nods towards you, and he takes a sip.
Can I? Yeah, yeah. I take a sip of the wine as well.
Mhm.
This is really calming. I'm so grateful. But to be honest, now that you gave me your blessing, I feel better. I think I just freaked out when I saw some lights. Maybe it isn't anything. I think I should let you do your duty here with your guests. I don't
Sorry,
think I can see that.
did you
and I
guys
will-
blink and both drink?
Yes, but you would put it into
Yeah,
his
we-
glass.
yeah.
What
It's in
counts?
his glass.
Yeah, you'd put the poison into his glass specifically.
Yeah.
So yes, they've both
Yeah,
drunk.
that's my question. Did he just drink from it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I asked for wine to make him drink, but
Yeah,
he did
that's
it on
cool.
his own, so I'm fine.
I know you
Yeah.
chinked, but I wasn't sure if... Okay, cool. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So yeah, I
let
tell him
me-
that I'm feeling better.
Let me do a quick saving throw for him. Okay. Can someone set a timer for 4 minutes, please?
Yep, 1 second. Timer. Oh,
Okay.
okay, it's backwards, but you get the idea.
No, it's cool. I can see it's fine. So, Emanora, he looks towards you and he's just like, "Oh no. I think it's best that you probably stay with us. These two can wait until the morning to get their justice, and trust me, they will get their justice. But
Okay.
for now, I think it's best you stay with us just a little while till it all blows over. You
Okay.
know, I have heard that there are stories of ghosts around these places. People have come in and given me strange tales of lights and strange visions, and well, I think just for your own safety."
Yeah, sure. If I don't bother you, I will stay a little longer. And yeah, I chatter with them. I guess, like I act normal, like nothing happened.
Okay. You can see that across the way, Hawk is kind of like he's still playing like the act of like holding his hands behind his back, but like he's looking at you and he's like desperately like blinking at you. Make an intelligence check.
I want to use message.
Before you do that, make an intelligence check.
Okay.
Gonna be like Morse code or something.
Just a straight intelligence?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. He is fully blinking at you in Morse code. And he is blinking, and I quote, "Help, fucking help."
I messaged him. Help is almost done.
Blink back like help's on the way.
No, that would be too obvious. I can use my cantrip message. Why not?
Is it even
Okay.
worth it?
It's a cantrip. Like, it's fine.
Does that not count as one of your slots?
Nope, you can use cantrips as
Oh,
many
okay,
times
cool.
as you want a day.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So like he responds back and he's just like, okay, good. Do I know you, or is this very confusing right now?
I send again a message. I'm the lady with the raven.
Oh, cool. Very nice. Very nice. Just let me know and I can spring the trap.
Okay. Yeah, I will just wait till the poison starts acting. And yeah.
More small talk for a minute.
Okay.
Can I figure out like what type of weapons the guys around us have, or like as a strategist, can I figure out a good way to position myself? Because I know if Glaurik dies, they will probably blame me, so I will call for help, and the guys will blast through the door. If I can make out already like a perfect spot for me to get out of range.
But one thing, you have this invisibility thing.
I don't have invisibility today anymore.
Oh, okay.
I've blasted my level 2 spells.
I
Make
thought you
a
could use it as
perception
many
check.
times as you wanted.
Not invisibility.
Oh, okay.
Perception or investigation?
Perception.
Worth a try.
Okay, best you can tell, they have ranged weapons. There's a mixture of weapon types. You'll want to try and get behind a pillar. And you'll want to try and get behind a pillar now.
Okay, yeah, then as he sucks in, I jump up and get behind a pillar.
Come and join me around this
Maybe I
pillar.
can-
Oh no, I'm under a table.
Yeah.
Oh god, am I
you're
harm's
under
way?
the table.
You guys, you see that Glaurik stands up and he like raises his goblet up and he's just like, "My friends, I would like to propose a toast to our good work here in the name of And you see him like struggling to try and breathe, and you see like his skin start to go like a paler shade of green, and then like blue splotches appear, and you can see him like collapse forward, and like goblets and pieces of gold like go scattering across the table as he starts like scrabbling. He falls to the floor and is
scream. As loud as I can. The ghost killed him! And I run behind the pillar, but I hope the guys outside hear that. The ghost killed Glaurik. That they for sure know that it's the
go out
grandson.
of the church without, with all the, while the people still like, what happened?
Can you make a performance check for me, please, Eminora? 20.
Noise.
I can.
Okay.
I can make noise as hell.
Immediately, like, yeah, you guys hear like the loudest voice, projecting like all hell, reverbing through this church. You can just hear like, "Help! Help! The ghost killed him!" And all the guys outside the church, you know what's happening, and you know that if ever there was a time, now's the time to start coming into this church.
Okay. Vixen, how do you feel something inside you now, or is the ghost still there?
Yep.
Well, he's dead or dying.
She needs to get the final blow.
What?
I don't think she really has to hit him. She just has to see that he died, I guess.
Eminora, which pillar are you hiding behind specifically?
Which one I'm closer to? Yes, this one.
That one over there. Okay.
Over here. Yeah.
Pop you over there, then.
The thing is,
closer one, yeah.
The thing is that the job is done. We know that the ghost can project herself into like this plane before leaving. Can we just wide open the door, leave the projection of the ghost inside the church, like she laughing really hard and disappearing, something like that, really theatrical?
That's up to her.
Can we ask the ghost to do that? That would be great.
Okay, I asked the ghost if she wants to have a bit of fun before she goes.
As much as it's possible for you to hear the sound of a ghost cracking their knuckles, like the ghost cracks your knuckles and is like, "I was born ready for this."
Yay!
Okay. So, Vixen, do you have any like lights or sound spells?
I can have a look at
Like
what I got
illusions
left.
or something like this.
I have guiding bolt.
I've got.
What's that exactly? What does that exactly?
Guiding bolt. Hold on, I'll show.
I've got minor illusion.
Yeah, but you are inside.
Yeah. So planning
Well,
like
actually, you can do something because you've
Yeah.
heard the story about the ghost, so you can, I don't know, make lights or something like this.
Yeah.
Kada, for you, this hiding spot of yours is getting real hot right now.
Yeah, I had noticed.
Just wanted to make you aware of the situation. So, what is it that you want to do with the ghost?
what does guiding bolt do exactly? What's the physical?
It
appearance?
basically just lights up an enemy or area so that everyone gets like attack of opportunity.
Yeah. It's basically
What?
it's a magic
It's free.
tracer shot. So it'll like streak through the air like a bolt of light and then hit something and then light them up.
There you go.
That's great.
Yeah, I like that. So
It's
okay,
very
the
theatrical.
plan. Alessia, how strong are you? Can you just open the door like the fastest and
Of
loudest
course.
you can?
Of course.
Okay, so we need the ghost appearing at the same time that we all cast this guiding bolt, and I can cast like minor illusion. Like
I'm gonna add my roll to that as well.
Okay. So Alessia, can you make a strength check for me, please?
Mm-hmm.
That was a save, but
Oh, already
Yeah.
did the check here.
yeah.
better.
It's a D6.
It's a D6, not a D20.
Press the wrong one.
Yeah, that would be a hell of a boost there.
There we go. That's better.
Okay. So it's 9 altogether. What specifically are you trying to hit with the guiding bolt?
His dying remains, and as I unleash it, I think that's when the ghost should come out.
As
Like she
unleashes
follows
it,
the guiding bolt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just cast a minor illusion like with the loudest scream like?
I don't think you'll have to.
Laughter,
She
I
can do
can-
that.
That's okay.
Just for the drama of it.
Yeah, it's like the spicy thing.
How
from the
about
show.
thunder or like a really creepy
I'll do
crackling
that.
in the air?
I can do the cackling. I'll do the cackling.
Okay.
But first, hold on. As she casts this spell, can I attempt to dash behind the pillar with a menorah, please?
Sure. Get the stealth check with advantage because they are being distracted by all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Much distract. Oh, really?
Oh boy.
There's a lot of light going around.
So as you are
I had it.
dashing out, immediately a couple of the people who have been kind of gathered around spot you running out, and one of them is just like, "Hey, you!" And then just as they're in the middle of shouting that, someone please describe the whole situation.
Vixen as an English
Yeah.
speaker.
To say what?
Describe.
No, as
describe.
an English speaker, you are the chosen one to describe it.
Okay, so there's this huge flash of light emanating from the doorway. As it flies across the room, it's followed by the ghost leaving Vixen's body as she crawls her way through whatever cackling and whatever's going on. She looks like hellspawn, all ready and vicious. She's tearing up everything and just flying through the air with purpose in her eyes. As she leans over his corpse and he's all lit up, Callum can do it.
Okay. In this moment, you feel all of the candles in the room as she passes blow out, and frost seems to creep along the floor as she moves.
Amazing.
As she reaches him, the others seem to kind of scramble away to try and get out of the way. And she leans over him, and in her in his last moments, she reaches up and by her hair removes her own head and thrusts it out in front of him in this horrifying scream that just like pierces pierces his like his. You can see like he's literally like bleeding from the eardrums. And then she reaches up and you can see her the ends of her fingertips seem to like extend into sharp points, and she just like thrusts her hand down and in this one movement just like removes his heart and holds it aloft and then just crushes it in her hand.
Yeah.
Lifeless, he falls just limp onto the floor. She turns to look at the rest of them, and she just stares them down with this head and just says, "Leave this place." And then she disappears.
So
I think
then
if I was
we
them,
know what happened next.
shit in my pants.
Yeah.
What was?
Yeah.
Pretty quickly after that, the rest of them begin to just like sprint, like they are heading towards the door, trying to get as far away from where this all happened as possible. You see the two drow, instead they like run up to like the body and are like looking at it and like looking at each other, just like not sure what to do. You see one of the drow women, one of them was male and one of them was female. The drow woman specifically starts to like openly weep over his body, and the other one is like tugging at her arm, just like, "Oh no, Serena, we need to go. We need to go now." And it's like trying to pull her away. The majority of them are running towards the main door. A fair few of them end up slipping on the ice that she has left behind. One of them slips badly enough that they basically like headbutt one of the pews and are just knocked out on the floor. They eventually manage to kind of scramble their way out of the room.
Which one hit their head?
That was Torva, because of course it was Torva.
Fair enough.
He's a clumsy boy. And just as they are all leaving the room, like, Hawk leaps up onto the table, draws his rapier, and just points at them and is just like, "And don't you ever fucking come back."
Better late than never, Hawk.
Yeah, fucking hell. I released you how long ago?
Is there any of the bad guys inside the room?
Sorry?
Or just those two? Is any of the bad guys inside the room, or just those two drow?
Just the two drow who now appear to like. It now appears that like the male one is like pulling up, the other one is like trying to force them out of the room, and the unconscious body of Torva. I can drop you guys in there if you would like to come into the church at this point.
Might as well.
Okay.
I'd like to search his corpse.
I'd like to go and get more gold from the other room.
Yeah, that's the room I would like to see as well.
There's a buttload of gold in the other room, by the way, and like paintings and other loot.
Why are you telling people?
Because
and-
I'm a nice person,
Oh,
and I've already stolen some and nearly blew the game because I tried to steal some. So,
that's fair enough.
and to be honest, there's too much for me to carry. So
Maybe we could all divvy it out between us.
there's a lot in there. We're
Yeah,
not going to be able to carry it all.
I think we should open a group pouch. Let's call it a chest, a group
Yeah,
chest,
that's probably a good idea, actually.
where
Yeah.
everybody shares their funds.
So
This
I
is
feel
my
like-
my favorite bit when you get to this point. It's like, okay, who's going to be the group accountant now?
obviously,
I mean, I
Obviously.
can,
Can
but
I
like,
do that?
Obviously.
I'm not very good with numbers.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty good with numbers.
But I'm the politician.
Well, how much can we
Oh,
carry?
never trust a politician. That's right.
Yeah, but whoever trusts politicians these days?
Who trusts
Never
a
trust
thief?
What?
I mean, honestly, who else is
I'm
better to keep
imagining-
the-
Hey now! Who told you about the gold? I didn't have to tell you.
To be fair, politicians are thieves.
I'm imagining you guys
No,
like having this
not
discussion, like
Eleonora.
just sat at this table, like the
Oh,
dead body of Glaurik, like over there,
Okay.
just like,
Yeah,
maybe you
Eleonora
should
will
take
help.
the.
All of this,
Koshka.
is there anyone that that has witnessed what happened during the evening?
Apart from the
Just
other
to
9 people in
interrogate
the
them,
room.
basically.
We have to come back to the injured ones.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to build a new government.
Ellen, you care about the injured ones.
Leave
We
me.
talked about this.
Right, I'll stay behind in the church until people come back in, and I will explain the situation and what the best choice of action would be for the church. Leave that to me. I've got that covered. For now, let's loot some stuff.
Yeah, let's get
Let's
the loot.
interrogate people.
So I would suggest that we see how much loot it is, and then we
how
will
much we can
start
carry
to, and see how much already someone has, so we get to the same level, and see if there are items that would suit somebody more than other ones. Yes. So we start to loot that place.
Okay.
Oh, I can actually put the scrolls into my spell book, but it takes me 2 hours and 50 gold pieces.
Okay.
Can we also,
Cool, good to
can you with your wizardy powers, can you tell that she's left this plane of existence, that she's like gone?
Can I?
If you want to try detect magic.
Well, could you not use the contract to kind of tie in as to whether she's left? If the contract's been filled?
Yeah,
true.
Did the contract leave? Is it?
Yes. In the moment
Done.
when the ghost disappeared, Vixen, you will have noticed the same hand that you signed the contract with. When you first signed it, arcane sigils kind of span around your hand for a second. When the ghost disappeared, they span around again and then dissipated. The contract has been completed.
Yay, I'm happy.
Also, you can
We
tell
did a
because
thing.
Emanora has de-aged a bit.
Yay! Emanora! You look so youthful.
The precious years I need.
I got back my 20 years and lost like one line here.
Okay. You guys loot the rest of the church, and you find 640 gold.
Ooh.
Basically
Okay, with
just like
looting
a
gold.
chest that's just piled up with loose change.
Okay.
So
I
what's
think
our
they-
carrying limit for gold?
Wait.
Effectively, I'm not going to be worried about that. Like,
Yeah, to measure that is super hard. Like if we just look at the other stuff that we have to carry, it will be already
Yeah.
disgusting enough to calculate that.
Yeah.
You have to give us a bag of holding. That's how every other DM solves
It's
this
got
problem.
trinket box.
it does like the
Oh
shinies.
yeah.
So
Oh,
if
yeah.
we do,
He has a trinket box.
who does?
Orc.
Alessia.
Orc actually gave it to
Yeah, I
Alessia.
have it.
He did, yeah.
Alessia has it.
So we have the trinket box.
What's a trinket box?
It's like a bag of holding, but smaller scale.
So you can
Yeah.
put loads of stuff in it, presumably.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
gave,
we could just pile the gold in and
the
divvy
thing
it
that
between
he
ourselves.
specifically said is he gave you the box and he said it only likes the pretty things.
And gold is pretty.
Yeah,
Gold is
gold
pretty.
is pretty and shiny.
But are you okay with looting a church from your own goddess?
He didn't believe in my goddess. I've got no problem looting him.
And actually, the money is not even from the church. The money is from the sun.
Yeah.
And we should have
I
been
take
doing
that.
the
To be fair,
Oh, yeah. I'm okay with the gold. I'm not okay with the moral.
to be
struggles of
fair,
the other people.
my share of the gold will probably go towards the church anyway.
I have a thing. Is it worth? Because I've done the maths, and 640 by 5 is 128. So if we just take the gold each, and then we could use the trinket box. Like, how big stuff can we put in it? How big is it? What size?
I think
No, no laughing at what I'm about to say.
No.
No, I know what you're going to say. I'm going
Is the opening?
to. Right. I think at this point it's irrelevant. What I'm trying to say is obviously Laura was making a good point of a lot of that gold would be heavy to carry. We can get round that with knowing that we have the trinket box is what I'm saying. We can still carry the gold on our character sheets. Cal's fine with that.
Yeah.
But we're keeping it in the trinket box so it's not so heavy in our pockets. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Fictionally,
Yeah,
you're keeping
so-
it in one central thing.
Okay.
Mechanically, you each have your own. It's fine.
So
Yeah.
going back to my question,
Everybody gets.
Yes.
Yeah.
how big is it?
Wouldn't you like to know? It's it's basically it's a jewelry box. Like it's not.
Okay.
Can you put paintings in it?
No.
Probably not.
Unless
Unless
are
they're really
very,
pretty.
very, unless they're a postcard size painting, no.
Okay, so
And
it doesn't function as a bag of holding that you can open it as big
No.
as you would like to.
No.
Okay.
Damn.
Do we find jewelry?
Yeah, what do we find, Cal? Please tell us.
Yeah, what do I find on his body?
But for the sake of expediency, the gold total that includes like various bits of like jewelry and ornate pottery that you can then like essentially trade as if it is gold.
But
Like-
not the paintings?
The
You can carry the paintings just rolling them.
I want
And
to
that's
cut
not
them out of
heavy.
the...
You like
Yeah.
to keep the paintings.
yeah, okay.
I would cut them out and put them to my scrolls.
Yeah, sure. There are 3 paintings that you get. One of them is a painting of what seems to be a family portrait. You can see like an older elvish man, and he's kind of like standing like behind a chair, like with his hand on the like the back of it. You can see like a younger, looks like maybe a halfling woman, and you can see what you recognize as being the late Salt Lord, sat on the chair. So
I can't keep that. Yes, the other paintings.
The
Anything
other
that's not
paintings.
that specific.
There's one which appears to show an armored drow on horseback in the midst of a battle. You could make a history check for me. Okay. You recognize it. It takes you a little while to kind of figure it out, but then like when you turn it over, there is a small inscription that's on the back of it. This is depicting Prince Varin, the founder of House Varin in battle.
That sounds
And the
nice.
third one?
And the third one is it's basically like a landscape, but it's of the surface world. It's
That
something.
might be a good one to keep.
Yeah, it's quite unusual for someone such as you who has never really been there. You're looking at it, it's just like, what's this weird glowy red thing in the sky? Why is it blue up there? What's all this green about? This is weird.
Yeah, I take them all either way.
Mhm.
Just to give the Salt Lord one to the Elven guy. I guess he's
Mhm.
kind of attached to it.
Okay.
I want to check the jewelry that we found. If I can see anything specific that looks magical in kind of a way.
Could use detect magic.
Yes, detect magic.
Do I have detect magic?
Do you have
I
detect
do.
magic?
I don't, but I have arcana knowledge.
Vixen has detect magic.
Ta-da!
Ta-da.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
One of the rings does give off a fairly decent amount of magical energy, specifically abjuration magic.
Which is
Abjuration is to do with warding and shielding.
okay. I'll give it to Emanora.
Can I check it with arcana to know what it does?
Unless you have the identify spell, no.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. But we know this school, so I can tell for sure that it will probably be a ring that guards you from stuff. So it probably gives you. Yeah, makes you more safe,
Presumably.
presumably. So, yeah, we will decide on that later. who
Is
gets-
there nothing with necromantic energy or anything like that?
There is one thing that you find on the body of Glaurik that gives off necromantic energy. You find in amongst his his robes, you find what looks like a blackened, withered hand. It seems to have been kind of like extended in a pointing, like claw grasp, like thing. And on the index finger, this is the like a left hand. on the index finger of it, there is a single piece of what looks like ornate like plate mail that's been. It seems like it's fused with the index finger. And
I
that is
use a cloth to wrap it up, and I'm going to pocket that, take it with.
okay. Easy enough to do.
Can I have a look round the next door room? And also, one thing at a time. Can I have a look around the room for any like weapons or apparel?
Make an investigation check. Okay. 14. So you find there's a few bits of kind of fancy clothing. Weapons wise, you can find like there's mainly the weapons that you find have been either have been dropped by the people who were fleeing, so you can find a couple morning stars, a couple scimitars.
What's a morning star? Sorry.
Like a maze.
It's like a mace that's got spikes on it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a couple scimitars, a longbow, and in the what am I thinking? In the in the side room, one of the only things you find is there is a spear. The spear, the end of it seems to be made of a golden substance of some kind, and it seems to have very fine carving in it.
Okay. Is the detect magic a cantrip or a spell?
Spell.
Oh, okay. Can I do an Arcana check or something to see if I can figure out what it is?
You can do a basic Arcana check, yeah.
I have identify if that helps.
Okay, let me try this, and then if not, then maybe I'll. Yeah, can you?
I would recommend using Identify on things that you already know are magical. Otherwise, it's a
Okay.
waste of your spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's too late.
you're casting Identify. What are you casting it on specifically, Dixon?
Well, I was going to use it to help Robin out, but if it's
Yeah,
going to be
we
used...
don't know. It's magic, so maybe.
okay, I'll use it on the hand.
Okay. Let me just send you the information on that real quick.
Yeah.
I will send you this, and I will tell you. You know the name of it. I will put that as well. I will send it to you in a DM, and then the rest can tell me if they. Well, you can tell the rest if you want to let them know.
You won't.
You don't know.
Okay.
Also, Cal, you said that they had various weapons on the table.
Yes, those were the weapons that they were like armed with. So they picked them up when they were like, "Is something attacking us? What are we doing?" And then they dropped most of them when they were like, "Okay, just run for our lives."
Cool. Okay.
Okay. So with your collected loot, you guys come back in and finish kind of searching around the room. You see that Hawk is holding like the crown, and is like he like balances it on like one of his horns and is like, "What do you think? Too much?"
Definitely. Can I
No,
have
man,
that?
it suits you.
Gorgeous. Leave it.
No, I never really wanted this kind of thing, you know. I
All right, John.
actively spent most of my life trying to make sure that kings don't get to be in charge of stuff, so would kind of be a little bit weird if I decided to become one now.
Why don't you
Lovely.
use it as a prince's crown and call yourself the prince of something? You know, I don't know.
Oh, I am already a prince.
Prince of freedom.
many, many hearts. And he kind of just
Prince
winks
of
at
what?
you. Prince of many, many hearts.
Or Prince of
Aw.
Freedom.
He's the prince of my heart.
Oh,
He
he's
just
so
kind
cute.
of like, he takes it off and just kind of like frisbees it into the middle of the table, and he's just like, so, what now? And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was
We
a
did it, you guys!
real interesting episode. Wow.
I'm so glad the plan worked.
Me too. Oh my god.
That was a real good plan. Like, well
No
done, guys.
violence.
I
Oh, God.
applaud you on that one. Like, I was not expecting half the stuff that happened this episode.
I
And
don't know if it's been made clear, but we've like created another channel where we talk about plans without Cal. Like he knows about it, but he's not privy to the information that we talk about. So we've been really trying to come up with a really good plan for this week.
and I love it. It's so good. It's a sign that I'm doing something right. That the others have been like, okay, we need to sort this out. How do we beat him? Like,
Yeah,
I
but to
love
be
it.
fair, the church thing worked out really well, even if it was improvised.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys did
Two
really
for
good
one.
today. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We definitely did. As always, we are presented by and in association with Horsham Gamers. We are a local group. We do all kinds of gaming, through from tabletop RPGs and roleplay stuff like this, through to wargaming, esports, board games, competitive gaming, anything you can think of to do with gaming or nerd culture. We're interested in it too. We'd love to meet some of you. And a reminder, on the 29th and 30th, got the dates right this time, 29th and 30th of this month, we are doing Horsham Gaming Festival down at the Drill Hall. It's only a couple of quid entry for like so much stuff we've got going on. We've got board games going on, we've got D&D going on throughout the weekend. We've got an escape room, we've got like a mini robot competition. We've got so much stuff going on. It's going to be amazing, and we'd love to meet some of you guys there. So hopefully see some of you there. And thank you for watching, guys, and we hope you have a good time between now and then. Hey!
Ciao.
Ciao.